And hello fellow Techers, Space Bandit here with another episode of World of Tanks, and today I bring you 3 games in my T110E5 Tier 10 American Heavy Tank. This is a 5k run, all games will be close to about 5k damage, so yeah, these games are not going to be extraordinary, but they're going to be pretty good, and these were taken from my Chisel contract run. So yeah, I'm past stage 9 actually on Chisel contract. This grind has been, oh man, brutal. Playing tier 9 and tier 10s all the time. I don't know, it's been really dragging. It's been really dragging for me. But, you know, and the last stage is the worst. When I looked at it the other day, the last stage was what, 800,000 XP or something like that. And if you want to buy it out, it's gonna cost you 27,000 gold, which is absolutely insane amount of gold, honestly, guys. I remember when I was doing machine, that was much less. This is like 100 bucks for last stage. If you want to skip the last stage, it's almost impossible. So I'm gonna be forced to grind it. There's no way I'm spending 100 bucks on this. Ridiculous. Anyway, let's get into the game here. So I love my T110E5. And you've seen probably a lot of games with this tank on my channel, and especially for this grind I've been using Super Conqueror, I've been using T110E5, I've also been using Chieftain. So these were my main vehicles for that, as well as M48 Patton here and there. Anyway, so we got ourselves in a nice position here, and the only problem with this position is that they can see my tumor, my big cupola on top of the head over here. So I'm kind of hesitating because this STB has a really good position and he's hold down, so I'm kind of testing out. I haven't seen STB once in game for a long time, so I'm actually testing the turret here. I'm trying to hit his turret here. I'm gonna try to hit his top plate and I can't pen it, so this tank can bounce some shells, but we're gonna try to line up another shot over here. And are we gonna be able to put that in? Probably not. So we're just gonna be patient here. We're gonna stay patient and we're gonna see what our team is doing. He pokes out over here, but unfortunately our shot goes low and it doesn't hit his top plate. So at this point in time I realized, okay, you know, those shots are very narrow. I gotta start moving, get together with my friendlies in a split second here. So I'm still trying to shoot at him, but you know, he's in a really good position. So we're gonna continue. We're gonna start driving. I think he tracks us over here. Yes, he does. And this shot goes in. That's crazy. Quite narrow under his track right there. So we managed to put a narrow shot straight in there. He puts one into us as well on the way in. But we're gonna close the distance now, and we're gonna try to engage in the fight. Now T110E5, guys, I love to brawl with this tank. This tank is fantastic for brawling. I know that tumor on top is not the greatest and people will pen you, but other than that, this tank is pretty solid as long as you hide the lower plate. So we're gonna poke out over here. He's not expecting us. We're gonna put a shell into his track. We track him at the same time. Now we get tracked by the Chieftain over there, but STB1 shows us his side, so we put a shell into him. And we're gonna be mindful of this Chieftain. He keeps on poking out, so he really wants to shoot me, so I have to be mindful of micro positioning of my tank. I want to make sure that I'm side scraping here in case he pokes out like he did right there. So we're gonna back off a little bit because our friendly tells me to back off. He's got nice protection here, but at the same time I realize, you know what, we just gotta push this side. Tortoise is on the other side of the hill, so he doesn't have any shots at me, so I should be fairly safe to move up here. So we're gonna try to spot this Chieftain and see if we can put some shells into him. We spot him here again. We put a shell into his side. Probably should have tracked him there. It would have been a better shot, but regardless, we have shots at this Tortoise right now, so we're gonna put a shell into his weak spot right there, the superstructure. If you guys are not aware, you don't necessarily have to hit the cupola. That superstructure there, you can also pen it. It's hit and miss sometimes, but most of the times it goes in. Like as you can see here, I'm doing it with standard shells on my E5, so no problem there. We're gonna put one more, and we're losing miserably. as usual, and that's what's been happening to me lately. And you guys seen my ranting video about bullshit teams. It seems like it's not only happening to me, from what I gather in the comment section. I don't know, very disappointed. A lot of new players, I guess, in the game. I don't know what's happening, but I've been having bad runs, even though I've been putting up pretty solid numbers in my games. But take a look at that, like, what is it, 4 to 9? We already, we have only 5 tanks left. 4 tanks and artillery. So we're gonna take out this chieftain. And at this point, there's no point pushing any further. So I basically told my team here to defend this position, or I will tell them in a split second. The reason why I'm saying that is because I was expecting the opposition to go around the back lines and pretty much try to take us out of the game. I didn't think they were gonna cap, but nowadays you never know, right? So they're gonna be capping. Unfortunately, they are gonna be capping. So I'm gonna make my way back. I'm still relatively full health. I didn't lose any of my health in this engagement, so we're gonna try to get back, reset if we can, and see what we can do with this game. Look at this shot. Really? Track absorbs my shell. Light tank track absorbs my shell. That is crazy. If I had that kill, that would have been already so much easier. I wouldn't have to worry about that light tank later. But because I don't kill him, he's gonna be running around around here. Although he's not probably the best player, so he didn't give me much of problems here. The biggest problem will be the Artie, which I don't notice. He's right there on my left hand side, and I was completely not expecting him to be there. Like, why wouldn't the hell Artie would be there? Artie is usually at A2, somewhere around there, and this guy is sitting here at F7. Anyway, I'm putting shells into this Conqueror, and we don't quite manage to kill him. Unfortunately, we low roll on the second shot, so we're gonna have to spend our 3rd shell in order to take him out of the game. Now the light tank is just 1 shot to me. All I had to do is go forward, but yeah. What could have been a great game already spoils my fun, unfortunately. Freaking pigs everywhere, always spoiling my fun. So actually, we would have been able to get back into base and reset. We would have been able to take out the light tank. So I think this game could have been a lot closer than it seems right here. I lost this game, unfortunately, but if I managed to survive and Artie didn't hit me for over 1000 HP, it would have been even a better game than what I had right here, unfortunately. We still managed to put up 5.2k damage. Only class 2 for this game, 0 assisted damage because we are mostly damage dealer in this game. We did block about 1800 damage. We finished with 3 kills on top of the team. We fired 20 shots, we had 19 direct hits and 15 penetrations. Okay, let's skip to the second game of the evening. This time we are map Fjords. We're top tier obviously, and it's a good mix of tier 10s, tier 9s, and bunch of tier 8s, which is relatively good matchmaking actually. 1 artillery in play, so we have to be mindful of that. So what I like doing on this map, in my E5, I like to get myself in position E4, simply because E5 is fast enough to get into that position, and then you can present crossfire into these guys going into position J5, somewhere around there. So if you get into this position quick, you usually find side shots into or back shots into opposition that's scooting down the 5 lane. So that's what we're gonna try to do. Now, mind you, this position here is not already safe, so Artie can easily hit you here. I've been hit in this position many times, so yeah, it's not the best. But so we're gonna stay patient here for a bit. We want to see what's going on. So far, not many opposition tanks are spotted. Only 1 heavy tank at E6 so far. So we're trying to figure out where are the Reds? Where are they? Obviously, they're not coming this way because we're not spotting anything. So in this situation, at this time, I figured that most of them will be at position A8. And that's exactly what's happening. All of them are right over there. So if that's the case, what we have to do now, we have to push forward on this side of the map. So if our guys in location J5, that are currently in J5, if they push all the way around that hill on the right hand side, then we can join forces here and push a little bit further into the opposition side of the field. So I wanted to see what we can spot over here. Unfortunately, we spot a waffle. Quite dangerous customer. So last thing we want to do is come out and get snapped, tracked, and taken out of the game, because, you know, it will be easy thing to do. And he is charging me, so we put a shell into him. Luckily, he misses his tracking shot, so we managed to get away. Otherwise, it would have been sketchy. But now he starts paying attention to our medium tank, so we track him here. He repairs, and we're gonna try to see if we can see his turret. So we see his turret here, and we put a shell into him. At this point, I wish I had some HE shells in this tank, but I haven't been carrying any HE. I don't know why, honestly. I should probably be carrying at least 3 or 4. Maybe that's what I'll do. But in all of my run here, you'll see that I don't have any HE shells loaded in this tank. Mostly standard AP shells and some heat rounds. I mostly use AP rounds in this tank. They're good enough at tier 10. But you do find occasions where you have to use heat, especially against like E100s, right? Mice? No, I can say that. Mouses, I guess. Mouses. Yeah, tank destroyers, heavy armored vehicles. So yeah, it comes in useful every once in a while. Now all of a sudden I got shot here. I didn't realize. I thought it was from behind, but then I realized it was from this machine. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put a shell into him. We track him at the same time, and we're gonna try to take him out of the game. As you can see, the game is relatively close. It's 5-5. So yeah, we're gonna have to make sure that we don't overexpose here on this side. And we're looking for a narrow shot here into this T32. We put a tracking shot into him, but he repairs. I'm a bit worried about this Kranvan, so I'm gonna let him fire all of his shells. Once he fires all of his shells like he did now, we can push him, but first we're gonna take care of this tank destroyer. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use that rock in front of me to hug against it so that T32 doesn't hit me. At the same time, I have enough gun depression to poke over and hit the Kranvan in his front plate right there. So that's what we're gonna try to do. We tracked him at the same time, but I think he's gonna use his repair kit. Yes, he does. At the same time, I'm being mindful. I'm checking if T32 is poking out. And he's not. He's staying put. Now this is going to be difficult here. Kranvan's turret is extremely difficult to pen. There are only very tiny areas, those little cupolas, that you can actually pen there. So I actually loaded heat because just to ensure that I be able to pen him. As you can see, I'm having trouble penetrating him, and he's behind the dead wreck of a tank, so he's playing it smart. But we're gonna be patient here. We're gonna try to align a shot. This narrow shot right there is so difficult, and we still don't manage to penetrate him there. So I can't remember if I actually managed to penetrate him on any of those shots. We're gonna keep on doing the same thing. Like there, we did penetrate him. So T32 is not rushing us, so it's okay. At the same time, one of our tanks is capping the base. Well, is it couple tanks are capping the base at this point in time? The Kranvan is making his move, so here I thought that I'll be able to take him out right there with that shot, but that shot bounces, so I'm not able to pen him. But at this point I realize I really need to rush right now. It doesn't matter, I have to take him out of the game, and then we can push forward. As you can see, the game is really close. We have one tank capping, and medium tank of the opposition team is trying to reset at the same time. We're getting capped as well, so the tank destroyer does a good job getting back into our base, trying to reset. At the same time, I'm rushing this T32, and we're gonna try to take him out of the game. We don't need heat shells no more, so we switched back to standard AP, and we do manage to take him out. So now we're gonna rush this medium tank. Hopefully we can catch up to him and take him out of the game. It would be nice if our heavy tank stopped capping so we can get more damage. But I'm gonna line up a shot on the move in a split second here. Where is it? Right there. Which was actually really close, I thought. Right there. Man, that was so close. And I actually wanted to say attack over here, but my my marker was on the medium tank, so I kept on saying that I'm requesting fire. But unfortunately, our friendly caps out, which could have been even better game than what I had over here. So quite unfortunate. As you can see, still doing the chisel grind right there. So we managed to put up, what, 4.9, almost 5k damage. Again, 0 assisted because we're mostly damage dealer in this game. We blocked 2800, almost 2900 damage. Anyway, we finished on top of the leaderboard. We managed to fire 20 shells. We had 19 direct hits and 15 penetrations because of those few bounces that I had on the Kranvan. Anyway, let's switch to the last game that I have for you guys. And last game is on map Hidden Village. And this game will be quite interesting too, because me and friendly AMX-50B, we're gonna be in a nice defensive position. We're gonna do a really good job, both me and him, protecting our area of the map. So it's going to be quite a brawl actually, once we get into position. Now on this map, with E5, I usually like going into position, what is it, G4, somewhere around there. But with 2 RDs in play, I decided not to do that because, you know, I just don't want to get shit on. And I had tough luck with RD lately, so I decided not to do that. As you can see, AMX-50B in front of me, he's doing the exact same thing. He's trying to get into that position. And his maneuvers, as you could see what he was doing there, he was trying to avoid the RD shell. That's probably what it was. So based on that, I already knew that he knows what he's doing. That he's probably a fairly decent player. Just seeing some of those maneuvers in game and what my friendlies are doing sometimes, I can judge of whether the players are good or not and whether I can stick with them. You know, me playing mostly by myself in randoms, it's extremely difficult, you know, not getting any support in many cases. So if I run into players like this, I try to stick with them, and I would recommend you guys do the same thing. Anyway, so we have shots over here. As you can see, there's M60. We tried the shot at his cupola, but it goes to the right, but it still manages to pen him. So we're gonna line up another shot, and that's gonna go into his turret as well. And this position is really nice here. It's a really nice defensive position, especially if your friendlies fall. You can always drop back into the middle, and this shot goes up. That could have been another shot of damage that I missed. Yeah, you can drop back into the field, and if your friendlies are supporting from the field, then you have some covering fire right from them. So as you can see, we're kind of being pushed really hard over here. Majority of the opposition team, it looks like it's on this side here, so we're gonna try to take pot shots here and there, see if the opposition is not looking. We want to just kind of come out, take some shots, get them down in numbers. And what the hell was that? That should have been a pen. Strange. This game is strange sometimes, guys. I don't understand. Anyway, as you can see with E5, the way you should play it, it should always stay on a move. That was a shit shot. See my frustration there. I didn't poke out all the way around. I was worried about getting tracked there, that's why. And this shot misses as well. But yeah, with E5 you should be moving all the time because of that cupola, and people are shooting you in that cupola. So you should try to rotate your turret from time to time, just left, right, move back and forth, back and forth. If you keep on wiggling with this tank, it can do wonders. What the shit was that? that was nuts too. That should have been a pen, and I'm shooting heat at this point in time. So I switched to heat because I knew that we were gonna get pushed here, especially by the 705 and the E100. And these two guys are tough customers, so you really need heat. Because I want to stay hold down, I want to be able to shoot at E100's turret, right? And lag. Damn lag. Another shot of damage. This could have been such a much higher damage game than it was when I'm looking at it right now. It's crazy. Anyway, we put a shell into 705. Now we're gonna drop. I think our AMX 50B is reloading, so we have to drop a little bit here and try to get these guys to come out. That's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna push them. So as you can see, E100 pokes out. We put a shell into his bottom plate. Now, AP round would not pen this, but with heat round I am able to pen it. Here we're gonna track the 705 and we damage him at the same time for our 50B to feast on. Unfortunately, he gets away, he repairs, and E100 puts a huge shell into us. But we do manage to track him. Now we're gonna put another damaging hit into him. Now he's rushing us bad right here. He wants to rush us, so we gotta pull back. We're gonna put a shell into his bottom plate. He doesn't have gun depression here, I don't think. He misses his shell. And yeah, we're just defensive mode right here. We're trying to survive. That's all I'm trying to do, trying to survive. And he does a good thing for me. He protects me from 705, so I'm gonna put a shell into his turret, and I think 50B takes him out. Yes, he does. So now we're gonna re-angle so we can side scrape so that 705 misses his shell, and we're gonna try to take him out of the game, but unfortunately our AMX 50B takes him out. So I say good game because really we held this position really nice, and 50B and myself, we worked this position, worked together pretty good. So I thought that was a great game by both of us, and we supported each other really well. So the only thing left over at this point in time is the M60, so we're gonna try to put a shell into him. We switched to AP rounds because we don't need heat anymore. So he shows us his behind, so we put a shell into him. And then he tracks us and runs off into 50B. Why would you do that? Why would you run off to 50B into an auto loader? But anyway, regardless, we still had a really decent game. So it's a victory, and it's usually... And this map is strange because if you don't win the area where we are at, then you usually lose the game, especially if your team takes the field. The game is most likely the loss, but in this situation it wasn't. We managed to pull this off, so we finished with 4.9k damage, slightly bit assisted, but 4.3k blocked. Man, this tank can block shots sometimes, tell you. Didn't finish on top of the team. AMX 50B finished on top with 3.7k and 5 kills. We managed to end up in the 4th spot with 4.9k damage. And since we had a good game, we're gonna send our AMX 50B a nice message of GG at the end of the game, because I think he did great and we played pretty well together to secure the win for our team. As far as our stats go, we fired 21 shells, we had 17 direct hits and 12 penetrations. So the efficiency wasn't the greatest, but the results still pretty decent. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this mini run. I'm gonna have few more of those coming up, probably in my Super Conqueror as well as Chieftain, so on and so forth. I still have T95 games to show you. There will be T110E5 on my channel in the near future. So all of those tanks coming up very shortly. Anyway, that's it for today. Until next time, happy tanking, Space Bandit, checking out.